Here is Brenton Rael. So Brenton Rael, he's going to get convicted, and I think he's going to have to serve 50 years. Guilty of 7 charges, felony charges. Brenton Rael. I'm sure on better days, he seems like he'd probably be okay guy. But he went on some kind of heroin binge, and him and his guys tried to throw a woman over a bridge, and so he's going to go to jail for 50 years for attempted murder. So that's Brenton Rael. That's the guy we're talking about. And the victim, we're not being told, or the alleged victim, we're not being told even her name in this article, KRQE, but this is Taos, New Mexico. November 14th, 2020, updated on the 17th, so that's just 11 days ago. This Brenton Rael was convicted 47 of several charges in connection with the kidnapping in 2020. Brenton Rael and 2 other suspects, Leann Romero and Kevin Gonzalez, were accused of kidnapping a woman from a home in Taos and taking her to a home in El Duende. Leann Romero and Kevin Gonzalez taking her from a home in Taos and then taking her to a home in El Duende. How far is that from Taos? El Duende? And then once they kidnapped this woman from a home in Taos and they took her to this other house in El Duende, they doused her in bleach and then they injected her with heroin. Then they took her to a bridge off of Highway 74. At least this is what the article is alleging, KRQE. He's Scott Brown. It's probably a legal fact because he's convicted in a court of law. They took her to a bridge off of Highway 74 and threw her into the Rio Chama, the Chama River. The victim told police she floated down the river until she was able to make it to shore and call police. That reminds me of this one movie about this Confederate. They were hanging him, but right at the end he jumped out and then he swam, and then at the very end it looked like he was about to get to his lost love Lenore. But what happened? He goes back to the hanging. It turns out he never jumped. He dreamed the entire damn thing. So good that the victim survived the fall, got thrown off a bridge. She got thrown off a bridge and lived to tell about it. Romero and Gonzalez had pleaded guilty to their charges, and Brenton Rael was one of the last suspects to go to trial. He was found guilty of 7 charges, including kidnapping, attempted murder, and he faces 50 years behind bars. Faces 50 years, so I guess they haven't done sentencing yet. So they did a jury trial. Look at this. Colorado, pay attention to all this. Even though he's accused of all these terrible crimes, he got a jury trial. And he's found guilty of 7 charges, right? Kidnapping, attempted murder. You can't go around, in New Mexico, you can't go around trying to kidnap people. You can't try to murder people. They get it. New Mexico gets it. Don't steal, don't do violence. Don't pedophile, don't murder, don't rape. Don't steal, don't do violence. That seems like a good 5 rules. Can we agree on those 5 rules? Now, Hobbes's Leviathan comes out of the English Civil War, not the Glorious Revolution. They injected heroin in her. You know what? Either way the story goes, let's assume she's a junkie. You hope for the best, but you expect the worst. It makes it seem like she may have just been a junkie. They found heroin in her system. Oh, yeah, you're just a heroin junkie. They kidnapped you and they took you here and they doused you in bleach and they injected you with heroin. But even, let's say, she is just a junkie. I'm not saying she is, but just for the sake of this argument, you still can't throw her over a bridge. You still can't try to kidnap or try to kill her. So, and then maybe they try to inject her with heroin to make it seem like she's just a junkie. But I don't understand the bleach. What the hell is the bleach? They doused her with bleach. Brenton, Rael, Leann Romero, Kevin Gonzalez. We need to kidnap this woman, douse her with bleach, put some heroin in her, and chuck her off a bridge. Why? What was the point of any of that? She mouthed off to you? She gave you a mean mug? She cut you off in traffic one time? Why'd they do any of this? It makes no sense. They were just on a binge. Did she have money? I mean, they're just torturing this poor woman. So this is just the information. I'm sure it's not that clear, cut, and dry. But they were doing some fucked up shit that night. And like I said, even if she was, even if the worst case scenario that could be imagined, she is a junkie and was sitting there doing heroin with them all, you still can't chuck her over a bridge. Douse her in bleach. Why? Did they have color guard, bleach with color guard? It's a good kind of bleach. The bleach that has color guard. So, sentencing is coming up for Brenton Rael. And the victim got some justice. And she gets to live, so I don't have to say R.I.P.